My name is Alex. I'm 35 years old. And for most of my life, my parents considered me the failure of the family. I wasn't the straight A student. I wasn't the athlete. I wasn't the one who went to Ivy League schools. That was my older brother, Michael. Michael was the golden child. He had scholarships, trophies, job offers lined up. At every family gathering, my parents would brag about him. Michael's doing this. Michael's doing that. And then they'd turn to me and say something like, well, Alex is still figuring things out. It was humiliating. I tried college, but I dropped out after 2 years. I bounced between jobs, waiting tables, delivering packages, working retail. My parents looked at me like I was wasting my life. One night during dinner, my dad actually said, Alex, why can't you be more like your brother? You're never going to make anything of yourself this way. That cut deep. But instead of arguing, I quietly decided to prove them wrong. I didn't know how yet, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going to live the rest of my life being the family disappointment. So I started learning, not in school but on my own. I watched videos, read books, took online courses about business, finance and investing. Nights when my friends were out partying, I was sitting in front of my laptop, studying. Then came my big break. A co-worker introduced me to real estate wholesaling. It sounded crazy at first, helping people sell their houses fast and making a commission without ever owning the property. But I gave it a shot. My first deal? I made $5,000. My parents rolled their eyes. That's not a real career, Alex. Stop chasing schemes. But I didn't stop. I worked day and night, making calls, knocking on doors, building connections. Slowly, those $5,000 deals turned into $20,000 deals, then $50,000. By the time I was 30, I had built a small company. By 32, I owned multiple properties. By 34, my net worth had crossed 7 figures. Meanwhile, my golden child brother Michael, he was burned out, buried in student loans, working long hours at a job he hated. And my parents? Suddenly they weren't calling me a failure anymore. They started saying things like, Alex, you're so smart with money. Could you help us with our mortgage? Or, we're thinking about retiring. Do you think you could give us a little support? I'll never forget the day my dad sat across from me at my kitchen table. The same man who once told me I'd never make it, asking if I could loan him money. And I looked him in the eyes and said, Dad, remember when you told me I'd never be anything? That I'd always be a failure? Well, failures don't become millionaires. He went silent. Don't get me wrong, I did help them. Because deep down, I still love my parents. But the difference now is, I no longer need their approval. I proved myself. Today, I own several businesses, I travel the world, and I live life on my terms. And every time my parents brag about me to their friends, I think back to those nights when I was the punchline at the dinner table. Success is the sweetest revenge. Because the truth is, I was never a failure. I was just taking a different path. And now, the path they once mocked is the one paying their bills,